thought about this enough, and I know this is kind of controversial. I said, there must be, and I've been thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, Alice, you going crazy? I said, there must be something psychological going on. And I know this is veering into like conspiratorial, and we're getting to conspiracy theory and making up stuff, and you know, once you go into that land, it's like people want to tune out. But I'm like, it must be something psychological, because I'm gonna tell you what happened. When I was making Bleeding Rainbows, I had there's this one character named Blue. And there's this other character, you know, who also has light blue hair, and it's she doesn't have a name. She's just Blue's mother. And when I was making that character, right, it's a very simple design. I make characters like that, very simple designs, right? Something I can work with, something that's tangible to me, right? And so when I was making that design, you know, I usually make my rough drafts, and I usually make my little illustrations. I used to do shit like that. And I remember sitting there looking at this character, and every time I would make my characters, I would imagine the characters in real life. I would imagine the characters as a concept, right? And every time I made this character, I imagined her as a white woman. It's this weird feeling, like there's this weird resistance within my head, and I don't know how to place a word to it. I don't know if I'm the only one who's felt that, right? Creator or not creator. Well, there's this weird resistance in my head where it's like my mind is taking different types of sourcing from things that I've seen growing up. And most of the things that I've seen has only been white women. Not to even blame white women and say, oh, it's white women. No, I'm just saying that's the importance of representation. That is the importance of making sure that you build from generation to generation. Because as someone who's literally creating my own art, who has the power in my own hands, I still had a struggle within my own psyche where I couldn't even, it's good to take inspiration from other people, but I'm saying the only time of all the films I've seen growing up, the only thing that my brain could sit there and source was a representation of a white woman. Was a representation of white. And correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not saying, yes, we have classic hood films we've seen, but that's its own genre. But when we get into certain genres with also the play of different types of cultural difference, like Christianity and all of this other stuff. But when you even get into that, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, there might be an actual resistance mentally from people who are black, from people in the black community. There might be a mental resistance that they can't quite place because it's not something astronomical that keeps you up at night. But it's like this instinctual thing that happens where it's like your mind says, oh, that's not right. And it's like, I can't see that. That's not of quality. Or that's weird. Or that's not truly black. Or something. I don't know. That it's tricking me. And the whole time, it's just because it is a natural progression of us having different types of experiences that has gone outside of the norm of what it means to be, black, right? Of what we're used to in black cinema, of what we're used to. So we keep saying we want it. Then when we get it, that's not right. I notice patterns like that.